My name's Irene, and I am the co-founder and owner of Mei Mei Restaurant and Mei Mei Street Kitchen here in Boston. You know, a lot of people end up leaving the restaurant industry because they are under pressure either from other people or themselves to go out and get, quote, like a real job. And so at Mei Mei, we've really tried to think about, okay, how do we make Mei Mei a real job? People who love food as much as our employees do deserve to be able to make a living and a career out of it. And that's really the future that we want for ourselves and for them. So I think that showing that there are opportunities for advancement, giving them more insight into how we actually run the business and what our future plans are, I think all of that has helped improve the experience and maybe create more sort of a sense of security and safety for the staff who work with us. So the main training that is ongoing at Mei Mei is our open book education, and that always starts with a few weeks of sort of business finance basics as well as hospitality best practices. Everybody who we hire comes to class, they get paid to come to class, and they learn about the sort of ins and outs of the restaurant business. And so we're really trying to give them a look behind the curtain so they can understand, you know, this machine that they're working in. So when we first hire somebody at Mei Mei, the very first thing they do is come in an hour early for their first shift, and we sit down with them. We give them a sort of, we call it the Kool-Aid presentation about what Mei Mei is, what makes Mei Mei run, what we think of as a good employee and a good manager. And then we take them on a tour of the restaurant, make sure they're sort of oriented in the physical space, and then we set them loose with a document that we recently implemented called an onboarding passport. And it really just lays out the first couple of shifts in every department. So it really helps us sort of create a pathway for them and to have a sense of how they got to where they are. So if we end up with an employee who's like really great at their job, we can look at who trained them and what was their schedule like on those days and sort of what worked or what didn't work, and then go back and refine it from there. When we first started the business, I was so wrapped up in the food and operations and just getting product out to guests that I wasn't really thinking at all about who we hired. I think we were really lucky, but a lot of it happened by accident. And so as we have grown, we've had to think more about, you know, we can't just rely on happy accidents in hiring. How do we really create something that yields the results that we want? And so asking really detailed questions, both in the application and in the interview, that's something that we could have started doing a lot earlier. And in the time since we've opened, I feel like my personal mission has gone from creating the food the way I want to create it to creating the jobs the way I want them to be. And so for me, that's what the job is all about now.